that I strayed from home. I crossed the barren wastes of Trenton. Oh, gentle shepherd, hear my cry and lead me home. The hours go by, unfrightened winds will fly. While over there, I'm waiting for the night to claim the soul that wandered from the fold. Oh, gentle shepherd, hear my cry and save my soul. Oh, gentle shepherd, hear my cry and cry. In thy cool green eyes that love, the silence still clear water, lead me. Oh, gentle shepherd, say forever, Lord, with thee.
Thank you, Ben.
Sorry about your uncle. He's probably in a good place.
Oh, I think he's here right now, actually. I told him to come.
What was his name?
George.
George.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Spiritualist Church. I'm your pastor, Reverend Trenton Shine, and I'm glad you're here today. And so we're going to get started with a meditation, so I invite you to get comfortable in your seats. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Take another deep breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Take one more deep breath in through the nose. Hold it for as long as you want. Whenever you're ready, let it out through the nose. Allow your body to relax. Allow your mind Take a deep breath in through the nose and let it out through the mouth. Come back into the church. We can fix the camera. There we go. Let's sing. So grab your songbook, go ahead and stand. And turn to page 14. We're going to sing I Am. Throughout history, hold on one second. There we go. All right.
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties, everybody.
I specifically,
Practice.
yeah, I hooked it up this morning to make sure that it was working. Of course. There we go. The magic and wonder, brilliance and grace, of joy and satisfaction, pleasure and strength. Welcome essence, beauty, presence, in space. Excellence in every blessing, sacred and praise. What I seek, I have. What I want to know, I understand. All I wish I could, I can. What I want to be, I am. What I seek, I have. What I want to know, I understand. All I wish I could, I can. What I want to be, I am. satisfaction, pleasure and strength. Welcome essence, beauty, presence, time, spirit, moment, space. Every blessing, sacred and praise. What I seek, what I want to know, I understand. Who was I could, I am. What I want to be, I am. Seek, I have. What I want to know, I understand. I wish I could, I can. Who I want to be, I am. Seed, I am the tree. I am the flower, I am the bee. I am fire and I am wind. Accept love and also I give. And I am mighty. Silent and I tread lightly. Monumental. Modest I am gentle. And I teach. And the sand I am the beach. And the peace and I am power. I am power. Peace and I am wild. I am mother, I am child. I am many, I am few. God and God is you. Seek, I have. What I want to know, I understand. I wish I could, I can. What I want to be, I am. I seek, I have. What I want to know, I understand. All I wish I could, I can. What I want to be, I am.
Words are because it's God. I didn't realize that until just now. But I am not broken. The tune is it's a difficult tune. The ones, this is the first of this song, it's God.
Okay.
I've done a lot of nice things this morning. I've been not probably.
So today's speaker is me. And I've decided to do a dramatic intro to give you a clue as to what we're going to talk about today. Does everyone know what movie that's from? It's from The Matrix. The Matrix. So, part of the reason I played that is just to have fun, because I'm going to talk. The talk I have today is it's a lot. You know, there's a lot of components to it. So hopefully you get whatever piece you need from it, and yeah. But my talk today is what is reality and the levels of consciousness. So in Republic by Plato, Plato has an allegory in there called the cave. So in this allegory, he talks about this deep cave going deep down into the earth. And it's very dark. And people are lined up, just facing the walls, looking at these shadows of doing everything. The shadows of life. People happening, things happening, you know. They're basically watching shadows do life. And they're stuck there. That's all they see. And in these shadows of life, there's good, there's bad, but there's definitely drama in those shadows of life. You know, it's very much the reality television equivalent. There's a lot of gossip, a lot of turmoil, and this is what life is to these people, just what they see. And then what happens is one of them breaks free and turns around. And he sees that the shadows are just being created by people holding up things in front of a fire. And so they're not real. But he doesn't know how to, he gets a bit overwhelmed with this. Like, if your whole world has just been seeing these shadows and this is your life, and now you turn around and you see that these shadows are being created by other people, what is that like? And then he starts to see that there's a light way down. And he starts following that light and walks out into the real world. And he explores the real world, seeing all the grandeur of life, seeing people's, mirrored images in the lake, in the water, seeing animals, and then eventually seeing the sun. And he looks straight into the sun. And in this allegory, the sun is the truth. So what is the truth? And there are different levels of consciousness. Now, once someone has seen the truth, they're obligated to go back and tell the others. But what's going to happen to that? They're going to be crazy. They're not going to be believed. If you go back to those people just watching the shadows, they're going to say you're crazy. There's nothing out there. This is it. This is everything. How dare you suggest that there's something more than this? Most people are enamored with the shadows of drama. So we can see this in our daily life. Like, what's the cave wall? In our life today? Is it our phone? Is it television? Is it the coworker that wants to gossip? And also these levels of consciousness, I think you can also see in different parts of your life, like where you can have a part of your life where you're looking at the wall of the cave. And you can have another part of your life where you're outside and free, And so what's pulling you back into those shadows of the dark? What's pulling you back? What are you not looking at? And consciousness, like, what is consciousness? Consciousness is a self-awareness of the way that we feel and interact with things. And the thing is that a person's consciousness is completely their own. And the way that they see things and feel things is completely their own. Do animals have consciousness? Do plants have consciousness? And what does their consciousness feel like? What does it look like? We'll never know. I'll never know what Spencer's consciousness feels like. Like a good example of this is, it's based on our senses. So what are we feeling and how are we interacting? So a good way to look at this is, try telling a blind person about an experience. They don't have the same senses that we do. Which has anyone ever listened to the television audio where for blind people it basically it almost sounds like it's a romance novel. Like, it's super dramatic and like And the reason that is because it's very emotional, you know, because that's how you can relate. That, you know, a blind person can feel emotion, but you can't just say, you know, a mountain, you know. They can't understand that. And this, actually, it's called, you know, there's a German word called Umwelt. And it means basically this, that every person's consciousness is individualized. You know, we very much have a little world around us of what, you know, and that world is created by what we believe, what we think, how we grew up, you know, all of that. And like right now, you may know this or you may not know this, we're in a complete shift of consciousness. Like Dolores Cannon called it, we're doing a 3D to a 5D split. So who's going to be in the 5D and who's going to be in the 3D? And I'm going to bring up an incredibly great example of this. And I'm going to try not to be political about this. But it's the best example of it. So right now, here in America, we're working up for an election. And there's two sides. But isn't it amazing how each side looks at the other and is like, what planet are they on? And I'm not saying one is better than the other, but we know what's better. You know, but it helps us to see that there is this shift that, you know, where there's an enlightened Earth headed off, and we're going to stay where we're at Earth, you know, and both are okay, you know. It's not like just because you got the ticket to the, you know, 5D, you get to feel superior and like better. We're like, ooh, look at those people in the 3D section, you know. They don't get warm peanuts. That's a joke. You know, it's just a shift. The people in 3D are unable to make that shift because their senses only go so far. They can only see the world from their view. And the 5D are people who are open to change, open to grow. You know, we're all growing, whether you like it or not. I've always loved trees. And I just heard like an explanation of life kind of based on the tree of life. You know? And there are the tree's branches are reaching towards the light, growing towards the light. But it can't get top heavy. We have to grow the roots. The roots have to grow down. And what are the roots growing in? Darkness. And so if we can see that, like, the roots are just as important as the branches, you know, and proportionately they're very different. Like, you know, there's way more tree above ground than there is below ground. But when we're in the darkness, we can get stuck there. But we've got to remember, we've got to change our perception of it. And just, there's a lot of talk about just accepting things, you know? And it really is, there's like, why are emotions there? Emotions are like flares, you know? It's like, hey, something happened, you gotta feel, and we feel it. And then do we just like push it aside? Do we question it? You know, there's a lot of awakening comes from darkness, comes from pain, comes from suffering. So oftentimes when you have a shift, an awakening, a spiritual shift within yourself, you can go into a dark zone. You can start growing those roots. But those roots are just as important as the branches. And if we look at the life as a whole, we know that we're not only the roots, that this too shall pass. And if we accept where we're at, and even take it further and question and look, you know, we can grow even more. So, when we're reaching, what's the goal? What's in the allegory? What was the end result? Going towards the light. In the tree of life, we're reaching for the light. We're reaching for the branches. So, if you want to be in the fifth dimension split, where are you putting your energy? You remember, I don't know if it was last week or the week before when I was like, it doesn't matter who you vote for, it's just important to vote. Because you're putting action behind your beliefs. You're stepping into what you want to be. That's what growth is. We're stepping into it. You know, we can see what we want to be or how we want to feel. You know, sometimes we don't know what we want to be, but we know how we want to feel. And so we need to vote for that. We need to step into action for that. And, you know, a big part of life is being giving. Like, what are you giving back? How much are you giving to others? You know, energy, everything is made up of energy. Everything is always moving, everything is always changing. Nothing is the same. You know, there's from one moment to the next, it's different. We're different. You know, like Dolores Cannon talks about there was 30-year increments. So people came in, you know, at the start of it, and they were 60 to 90 years old maybe, and started the shift. And then who just got born, they're gonna, be finishing it up in another 60 years. But what's great too is you can look at that if we look at that and apply it to our own life, first 30 years, second 30 years, and then the last 30 years. They're very different. And don't get me wrong, within each 30 years, it could feel like 50 lifetimes. But our consciousness expanded. In those first 30 years, our consciousness expanded. And then they expanded even more after that. If you're not 30 yet, God bless you. But for us that are over 30, it's expanded even more. And what happens when your consciousness level expands? people can't catch up to you. People either catch up or they fall behind. You know, I don't think it's a coincidence that, like, the older we get, the less people that are in our lives. You know, when we're, especially in the 1 to 30, like, we were forced to interact with a lot of people through school, you know. But it's interesting how, as our life goes on, we start to hone in. But it's just as important. We may not have as many people around us as we get older, which means it's just more important to connect to those people. You know, it's about giving. We're exchanging energy. In order to receive, I have to give. You know, it's the infinity symbol. You know, it has to go out to come back in. It has to go out to come back in. And that's with everything. That's with money, with time, with energy, with focus. So it's like, what are we putting our energy into? Because that's what we want to come back. You know, just the fact that you're here today, you know, means you're very much, at least on the platform, deciding whether to go 3D or 5D. You know? But that the ability to, the umwelt of it, where I can never experience life like you. And I cannot truly share my experience with you for you fully to understand. Don't get me wrong, like, you can, you know, we go through the same thing, we feel the same thing and stuff, but still within that, there are mechanisms within us that just are different. We just deal with things differently. You know? Like, one thing that really, I think, shows this example is the difference of fear with males and females. You know? I don't think males understand at all that females are constantly looking for safety. That are constantly have a feeling of outside attack coming in. You know, it's very much like if you're a male and wanting a female attention, it's very much about building a containment of safety around that person. Of telling them how much, you know, I don't think it's been until probably the last 10, 15 years that maybe the eyes of men have started to see how much fear women have to go through. You know, and it's not always life-threatening, but it's not natural. You know, my friend the other day was like asking me, what did she say? But basically I was like, well, it's, you know, because you're a woman. Because you're a woman, and men, this is a world of patriarchy. But what's interesting is, if we look at the example of right now, there's a shift. You know? The idea, whether you want to vote for Kamala Harris or not, the idea, the hope, the energy that is being backed behind her is incredible. It's like nothing we've ever seen before.
I thought we weren't doing politics.
I'm not saying one way or the other.
But you just did. Now, there's a lot of energy coming from the other side too. So go on.
Well, it's
You
true.
say you did bring politics. I just want to balance that out.
No, I'm just saying that there's energy backing a woman to a position of power. You know, that the possibility of that is closer than it's ever been. You know, whether it happens or not isn't the point.
There has been in other countries women leaders.
But we're not other countries.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't bring this up to be political at all. It's just a great example. Like, you can see it. Like, if you're watching the news, you can see this, like, shift of energy. You know? And like I said in the beginning, both sides are looking at each other and being like, what planet are they on?
The aliens are probably losing their minds.
You know?
If you look at the truth, Robert F. Kennedy is in the middle, and neither side will really accept him. And he's the only guy that's like his dad and his uncle telling the straight truth. If you listen to him, but they won't put him on the news. He is a true Democrat, but the Democrats have booted him out.
We're not going to get into the politics.
Well,
That's starting to get into the politics.
You brought it up, so I'm just giving you facts.
Okay, back to the subject.
If you want to pull politics out of my talk, feel free. You know? But to me, it's that male consciousness can never know what a female consciousness goes through.
Maybe in their next life.
Do you want to talk, Craig?
No.
You know? So what do we do? What do we do in this? It's all about where do we put our energy. You know, the matrix, the reality isn't whether there is, like we're living in a matrix or we're living in a video game or, you know, it's really not about that. It's about reaching towards the light and where are we putting our energy. Because whether we're in a video game or not, that's the goal, is the light, to choose the light. And that's where we want to start to look at where we put our energy. You know? And put our energy into everything. Not, you know, like, what are we eating? Who are we hanging out with? What are we watching on TV? You know? What are we watching on our phone? Where are we spending our time? Where are we putting our money? You know? A great thing to do, you know, people talk about manifesting money and creating money, and, you know, there is an energy exchange. Money is just energy. But if you put money towards the things that are important to you, if you donate to the charities that help you, or the charities that scare you. Like my one friend, she really has a huge fear about trafficking. And so she puts money into helping human trafficking. She's putting money towards the light, you know, to lessen the fear so that she doesn't stay in that vibration, that level. So that's all it is. You can vote for whoever you want. I'll love you just the same. But it is really important to vote, or to step forward, or to step into action, because that sends our energy towards something, And if we can look at, what's been really helpful to me lately is seeing that the darkness, the pain, and the suffering is important. And you can accept it, you can learn from it, you can expand within it, you can heal it. Like, how can we heal if we never see the dark? How can we even know what the light is if we never had dark? It's contrast. But that doesn't mean balance in the sense of equal parts of, darkness and light. When we look at a black and white picture, there's a lot less black than there is white. It takes very little black to show us what the picture is. It just takes a little contrast. And that's what we've come here to do. Like, really, on the other side, it's like a big, just whole, We're in the sense of whole being. It's whole consciousness over there. There's no individualism over there. So we come here to feel and experience the individual consciousness, and to learn, and then we go back into the collective. It's also a thing, because people say that plants have consciousness, but this lamp doesn't. But this lamp is alive. The atoms are spinning. It's vibrating. It has energy. And if there's one thing that's easier to move through this world, is to accept that we're never going to know everything. Our body is our control, like a game headset. It is our consciousness here on Earth, our body, is providing us the ability to move about, to experience, and to dampen things too, we can't feel everything all at once. And we can't know everything all at once. When you play a game, you're just playing a game. You're experiencing what you're experiencing. If you tried thinking about how the motherboard is connected to the circuit and the electricity is coming in, we don't need to know that to play the game. So it's what do you want to focus on? The easiest thing to focus on is within yourself. How can I grow? How can I get better? How can I heal? And let that energy radiate out. It starts with me. Instead of, there's a lot of people, you want to focus on the bad stuff out there. Don't get me wrong, it's important to know what's happening. But it's the world is mirrors. I had one teacher say, if you're upset at a serial killer, what is the serial killer within you? I was ooh, I don't like that. But We're made up of dark and light. Everything is. Everything is made up of contrast. There's no good or bad, there just is. So, that's it. That's my talk. If you got anything out of that, great. And if you got upset by that, great too, because it gives you something to work on. So now it's time for our love offering, our donations. So if it's monetary, you can hold it between your hands. If you need to do it electronically, you can do it through Venmo or PayPal. The instructions are in your program. And if it's just energetic, just hold that in your mind's eye, whatever it is you want to give to the church. And repeat the affirmation 3 times together. That's printed in your program. Divine love in me blesses this offering and increases my consciousness of peace and prosperity in all my affairs. Divine love in me blesses this offering and increases my consciousness of peace and prosperity in all my affairs. Divine love in me blesses this offering and increases my consciousness of peace and prosperity in all my affairs. Mother, Father, God, thank you for these blessed gifts. Please return to each person 1,000-fold what they've given here today, and allow our church to grow and prosper with them. Ben, do you